It's Gray here, and welcome back to another video. And today I will be covering the GlowSquid and my theories and speculation for this new mob. Now before this video begins, I'd like to point out that some of this art in the video that I have is borrowed from someone else, and as I go along, I will credit the original author. First off, let's start with the GlowSquid itself. We know that the GlowSquid will be a new mob added into the deep oceans biome, which is pretty barren as is. This mob will also be a moving light source, which we'll get to later, which will illuminate the area around it, making quite a beautiful scenery. And speaking of its beauty, if you get too close to it, you can actually get stunned by this mob, as shown in the Minecraft trailer that came out yesterday or the day before. Now, we don't know what it will drop, but a possible drop could be a new form of ink sac called the glow sac, blink sac, as log.zip called it in his video covering the GlowSquid. This model for the glow sac is made by log.zip. Some possible uses for the glow sac could be a new type of lighting in the glowtorch, and a new way to wear armor in the fact of glow dye, which, as you can see in the picture below here, when you dye leather, the armor would illuminate with about 10 levels of brightness, keeping your path bright and yourself able to see in the ocean depths. Now that I have concluded with what we know, and I've already started speculating back there because we don't know what it will drop, and if it will drop anything new, and if that item will be used for anything. Those, however, the blink sac, as created by log.zip, is something highly probable that I think could be a possible drop of this thing. So, warning ahead, nothing else in this video really has a definite chance at being added in at some time. This is all my speculation and theory as to what we could see in future updates of Minecraft as the GlowSquid gets the ball rolling for the ocean again. We have the ruined city, or ruined cities. Ruined cities would be made out of base materials like stone bricks and chiseled stone bricks, and would also be primarily made out of quartz and prismarine, dark and light. It can also be made out of sandstone and granite, as those are also common resources found in ocean ruins across the sea. Now, I think it would be cool and interesting if they added some sort of protector, or at least something lurking in the ruined cities, using the tall structures as a hide for catching its prey. And I think that Minecraft's previously cut Mob A would really fit that description quite well. It would add a new level of threat to the ocean, and also, make you think twice about going down into the ruined cities. And with the inclusion of the GlowSquid and these deep cities, I think that in underwater ravines, you'd be able to find this new metal type called deep steel, or deep steel ore. Now, deep steel, which we will get to later on in the video. Another idea I had for this is perhaps they could add more depth to the ocean. Instead of making it a maximum of 30 blocks deep, maybe make it more of 50 blocks deep in some areas and have the ruined towns there. And maybe if you went past 30 blocks underwater, you'd start to take damage from depth pressure. And that's part of where deep steel comes in. Again, more on all that later. Another possible mob to be added to the deep ocean trenches and 50 block deep deep oceans, as there's already a biome called the deep oceans, which is 30 blocks deep, but I think a little more depth would be required for some of these for the rest of what I talk about in the video, including the anglerfish. The anglerfish is another mob that would be a moving light source in the deep dark, and as you would go down into that 20 extra block depth, the atmosphere's light would start to deplete very quickly, which would leave you in a much darker state than before, and you'd have to bring some sort of light source down there in order to see. And a part of this could be with the new anglerfish. A proposed drop of the anglerfish could be, of course, raw angler and cooked angler, and also an angler light, which perhaps you could hold similarly to a torch as you travel the deep. And another thing about the anglerfish, as pictured here by Ninja Master MC, is that they would probably go after any fish they could really get their hands on. Of course, not including larger creatures such as dolphins, squid, and guardians. Next up, we have the crab, who Ender Beastcraft really did a good job of portraying. I feel like there should be some more life down in the depths, and I think crabs could be an amphibious mob living in both land and water environments in the deep depths and on the sandy beaches that would really add just quite a bit more life to the ocean and, well, sandy beaches as we know it. Starting off for drops, you would get raw crab legs and cooked crab, and then be able to turn them into cooked crab legs, and upon killing or molting periods, as crabs would come in 3 primary sizes: large, medium, and small. Or, I guess, tiny, small, and medium. They would drop crab shells, and crab shells would be used for the next piece of animal armor, going along with the turtle shelmet, as I like to call it. We'd have crab leggings, or creggings. Now, the crabs themselves are neutral mobs, which means if you attack them, they will attack you, or if you step on them, they will also attack you, dealing 1 to 2 hearts, dealing a half, 1, or 2 hearts depending on their size. Now, this is, of course, without wearing any armor. With armor, you'd be more readily protected. Cool behavior that the crabs could have: whenever they are in the vicinity of an active jukebox, they would begin to dance. This would be a reference to the crab rave, of course. I don't even need to define that further. And another thing that they could do is crabs will be more active during the night. They tend not to be as active during the day. And even during the night, when the player may wander near, crabs can bury themselves in the sand. Now, of course, once you mine the block that the crab is hiding in, they will pop out and begin running away. This could be a potentially useful way to trap crabs without having to chase them all the way down a beach. And going along with the crabs, we have the cuttlefish, or cuttlefish. I'm not sure which one Mojang would go with and would end up going with, because the cuttlefish is a mob from Subnautica, but I guess its name could still be used here since they're drastically different creatures. Or they just might want to stick with the marine accuracy of cuttlefish. But anyways, the cuttlefish are mobs that would have a unique ability to camouflage with their environment. They can go from all colors. They can blend in with any block that is commonly found in the ocean, such as their base colors: blue, yellow, red, pink, and purple, the colors of coral, and then some necessary hunting colors, like brown for dirt. I didn't really think about it too much when I thought of adding dirt in. I'm not sure if you can actually find dirt in the ocean, but perhaps dirt could be a possible option. Brown for gravel and stone. Sand, a sandy color for sand. An off green for prismarine, a dark green for dark prismarine, a white for quartz for the new ruined city structures, an off reddish brown for granite, a darker gray for stone bricks and chiseled stone, an oak color for oak wood planks, and finally various shades of green for the kelp and seagrass. One of the behaviors of the cuttlefish would be that they actively hunt crabs. So sometimes when you are traveling through the depths, you might suddenly see a figure dart out of nowhere towards an unsuspecting crab on the ocean floor. And from one swift attack from this guy, the crab will be gone, and the cuttlefish will most likely go back into a camouflage color, seeing you, the player, there. And that brings me to my next point. Cuttlefish would be quite timid, and they wouldn't actively pursue the player. In fact, they'd run away from the player and or camouflage themselves from being found. But similar to cats and ocelots, and rabbits, you would be able to draw them near by standing still with some raw crab legs in your hand. They would slowly but steadily inch closer, and eventually you'd be able to feed them and tame them. Once tamed, cuttlefish, similarly to the parrot, would hop on your character, but instead of your shoulder, this time it's your back. And while you are in water, the cuttlefish will accompany you and give you a slight speed boost as you swim through the water. Although, be warned, as soon as you go out of the water, the cuttlefish will drop off your back. And if you have any underwater bases and you go into the airlock for your base, that could be potentially damaging to your new best friend. So you're going to want to have some sort of solution on the fly. And for going down into these deep depths, you're going to need some new equipment. First off, why not a harpoon to fend against the terrifying Mob A? Just simply craft and just simply use a harpoon for ammo, and boom, you've got yourself a really hardy attack weapon. And why not use a diving suit made partially out of deep steel? Each piece of armor would require 3 of the new deep steel ingots, whose sprite was made by Nukeman 007, and the helmet would actually require 1 cyan glass pane as well. And once you put these on, you'll be able to successfully go down into the extra 20 to 30 block depth without taking any damage. And with the new harpoon, you'll be able to deal more damage while underwater. Now, and your ammo will automatically come back to you, seeing as you use a fishing rod and a crossbow, and then the lead, which would be theoretically used to attach to the weapon and bring it back to you once you're done using. Used for getting around by just simply shooting at a block, and as soon as the trident hits, the player will be dragged towards that block from the force of your harpoon launcher trying to reel in. This, however, does not work above water, as I felt that would be just a bit broken. Also, you'd be able to use the harpoon for attacking fish and then bringing their loot back to you once killed. You see, whenever you attack a fish or mob with the harpoon and successfully kill it, it'll bring its drops directly back to you, similar to a fishing rod. And then the final recipe here is the glowtorch. Glowtorch using one of the blink sacks using one of the blink sacks or glow sacks, and these, just like the angler light, could be a means of seeing in the depth, as well as dyeing leather armor with the glow sack. But if the reason that there's two mobile light sources is perhaps one is brighter than the other, as far as angular light versus the glowtorch, or perhaps if one doesn't get added in, then at least you have the other kind of deal. So yeah, this last article is made by ublugon, and it says and this just gives you a brief explanation on why you should vote for the GlowSquid. I kind of forgot to mention this in the beginning of the video, but basically, another fantastic reason for voting the GlowSquid in is this thing called dynamic lighting. And dynamic lighting is what we've been wanting basically since for as long as we've wanted a cave update. For instance, dynamic lighting would be if you were holding a torch in your hand and it lit the path as you went along. Not only would it save resources, but it's also way cooler of an effect. And, but Minecraft but Mojang has not currently added it in due to data complications. But now, with the new proposed GlowSquid, the GlowSquid would be a moving light source, implementing dynamic lighting, similar to what we'd want for the torch and lanterns and redstone torches and all those other light blocks and items that can be held in hand. And with the addition of the GlowSquid, it would just be freely swimming around in the ocean. So, and the GlowSquid could potentially get the ball rolling for these other lighting updates. But that's mainly what I had to say for the night. That's mainly what I had to say. All I had to say, and I really hope you guys enjoy this video today. Please vote Team Squid in the Minecon polls on October 3rd at the Minecon event, and please have yourself a good day, mates. Goodbye.